So, hello everyone, and welcome to the MSME Money Recovery webinar with BMP Systems, organized in association with the UDYAMITA Helpline for the benefit of all the MSMEs, where you'll learn the top 3 secrets to recover all your delayed payments at zero cost without going to court, fully on your own and against any company in India or world. बड़ी सी बड़ी छोटी सी छोटी company, all are covered, no problem about it, right? So let me ask you. Thank you so much, Shashank ji. Welcome, good afternoon. So I hope you're able to hear my voice and see my screen. So let's type everybody sitting in the chat box so that I know that आप मुझे सुन पा रहे हैं, मेरी screen को देख पा रहे हैं, and we'll also know from which all parts of the country we have people in today. So please type your city in the chat box. Please type your city in the chat box. Thank you so much, Ravindra ji, Nishit ji. Welcome, Parth ji from Pune, Hari ji, Manoj ji, Mumbai, Bombay, Hyderabad, Mumbai, Udaipur, Hyderabad, Tamil Nadu. Hello, Sai Prasad ji, Kalyan ji from Madurai, Aditya ji from Dhanbad, Ayushi ji from Delhi, Saurabh ji from Indore, Sanu ji from Chennai, Ravindra ji from Chennai. Fantastic. Wow, we have people from across all parts of the country. Thank you so much, everyone. So, are you having cash flow and bad debt problem? And do you want to recover all your short-term unpaid dues on time? Do you want your customers to always pay you on time? Do you want to know what action needs to be taken to recover your dues, whether it's from a large corporate like Reliance or a PSU like Dale or any big or small private player? Do you want to put strong measures in place to minimize non-payment or delay to your customer? So who all want all of these or any of these? Please type yes in the chat box. Please type yes in the chat box if you want all of these. Thank you so much, Venkatesh ji, Ravinder ji, Saurabh ji, Umesh ji, शशांक जी. श्योर हम हिंदी लैंग्वेज पे बात करेंगे, इंग्लिश यूज करेंगे, डोंट वरी. मनोज जी, रक्षिता जी, जयप्रकाश जी, आशीष जी, विनोद जी, Rufus ji, Hari Prasad ji. Fantastic. So first of all, thank you so much for being here in this webinar today. Afternoon, there were so many things job kar sakte the, but the fact that you chose to be here speaks volumes about your commitment towards your business and towards the financial future of your family. And in return, my promise to you today that is webinar ke end tak you'll know that you'll have all the required knowledge by which you'll be able to start recovering your dues at the end of this session. And it's going to be one of the most knowledgeable sessions on the money recovery provisions that we have attended of late. हम इसको बहुत interactive session रखेंगे. I'll keep asking questions just the way I've asked you a couple of questions till now, because as per a scientific study, online sessions में जहाँ हम एक दूसरे के साथ नहीं हैं, the more you interact, the more you learn. क्योंकि एनर्जी हमको नहीं समझ में आती कि मैं जो बोल रहा हूँ आपको समझ पा रहे कि नहीं पा रहे. When you keep interacting, then you're fully into this. मुझे भी पता होता है कि yes, I'm able to pass on the message. So keep interacting. मैं जो भी सवाल पूछूं उसका yes no में जवाब दीजिएगा in the chat box, and keep taking notes because as I said, it's going to be one of the very knowledgeable class जो आप करेंगे attend. तो you never know कब कौन सी चीज आपके लिए useful हो जाए. So keep taking notes so that you don't miss on anything. And Q&A जैसा कि प्राची ने बोला, ऋचा जी ने बोला, तो we'll have आपके बहुत सारे सवाल हो सकते हैं. तो आपके जितने सवाल हैं, आज आप यहाँ हैं तो ये मेरी जिम्मेदारी कि मैं उसके जवाब दूं और मैं जवाब देके जाऊंगा. It's just that we'll take it to the webinar so that we don't break the flow of the webinar. Okay? But आप अपने सारे सवाल Q&A बॉक्स, एक चैट बॉक्स के नेक्स्ट आप देखेंगे Q&A बॉक्स है, आप उस Q&A बॉक्स में टाइप कर दीजिएगा so that you don't have to wait till the end. चैट में मत करिएगा बिकॉज वहां करेंगे तो वो मिस हो जाएगा. आप Q&A बॉक्स में टाइप कर दीजिएगा so that हमको आपके सारे सवाल मिल जाए. I'll answer it all together at the end of the webinar. Okay? And for the next 90 minutes, please try and minimize all your distractions. Be here fully because as I said, it's going to be very, very knowledgeable webinar. And you never know कि कोई चीज छूट जाए तो फिर as they say, half knowledge is more than zero knowledge. Okay? So please be here fully. And English हम follow करेंगे as I've got some request for the participation. तो हिंदी और English दोनों को हम follow करते चलेंगे, is so that we are taking everybody along with us. अगर आपको कुछ समझ में नहीं आए तो Q&A box में आप लिख दीजिएगा, I'll explain this to you again. But अगर आपको हिंदी नहीं भी आती तो भी you'll be able to understand it fully. अगर आपको English नहीं भी आती तो भी you'll understand it fully. We'll try and manage that flow, right? So what are we going to cover today? So we're going to be covering definition of MSME. What does MSME stands for? हम देखेंगे then top 3 secrets to recover all your delayed payments जो civil criminal proceeding के अलावा जो कैसे काम करती है. We'll then see what you need to do now to recover your dues. What are those practices to ensure timely recovery, which you can do it yourself. And then we'll have Q&A session. So please type your questions in Q&A box. जो भी आपके आएंगे चैट में मत दिखेगा अगेन, नहीं तो वो मिस हो जाएगा. And at the end, we'll also give you some free money recovery resources. Okay, so let's get started. So before we get started, do I have your permission to share a little bit about myself? Please type yes in the chat box if I have your permission to share a little bit about myself so that we have the connection going. Thank you so much, everyone. So hello everyone, I'm Vinay Kumar Jain. I'm an advocate on record, Supreme Court of India, and a qualified solicitor and secretary. I'm an author and a coach as well, and I have the distinction of being the youngest qualified solicitor of India. But before I came into this field, I come from a business family like you all, from MSME business family like you all. And my father had a rice plant. It was the top 3 rice plants of the city, and I had my own dreams and aspirations to join that business and to grow it. But when I was in 11th and 12th, I started worrying my parents, talking that business was not doing so well. And one day it just got shut down. And what I understood from my elders talking is that it all happened because my father had a lot of money to be recovered from their customers. बहुत सारे उनके पैसे थे जो वो recovery नहीं कर पाए. And at the same time, they had a lot of money to pay to their bankers and the vendors, and that's why they failed. And it became so bad that he didn't even have enough money to pay for his household expenses at one time. And when I cleared my 12th, so my father just told me that there's nothing for you here. Whatever you have to do, you have to do it on your own. So that's the time I decided I'm going to be doing something from the benefit of the MSME. MSME is like my father, so that no the family suffers the same fate. So I made my mission MSME recovery, where I want to educate, empower, and help all the MSMEs of the country in recovery of their dues. And then I worked on involved with the top law firms of India and world, and then started our own practice, and we have been over the top 10 consultants in the country. And as part of our mission, MSME recovery, I've authored this book, Top 3 Secrets to Easy Recovery of Money and Direct Payment at Zero Cost. It's live on Amazon. And we have also made this course, money recovery course for our business owners, which comes at a price of 24,999 with 1 month validity. And we give all the notices, checklist format so that every MSME can have their own world-class recovery system at a very good price. And we're also shortly coming up with artificial intelligence-based money recovery tool, which is going to be acting as a virtual assistant for following up automatically on all your pending invoices, right? And using these systems, we have helped more than 3,000 business owners in recovery of their direct payments. In the past months itself, we've handled more than 24 recovery cases, approximately 525 crores. Our clients are spread across 22 states in India, Asian countries like China, who we are helping in recovery of their dues. We have helped clients across 27 different industries, ranging from logistics, construction, steel, manufacturing, government contractors, automobile export, textile, engineering, healthcare, power, oil, petroleum, pharmaceutical, mining, spice, education, and many other manufacturing service sector. Why I'm telling you all of this is because the knowledge which you're going to be sharing with you today is applicable to every industry. I want you to understand that. It's not that आप ये सोचें कि यार ये तो मेरी industry में लगेगा. It applies to every industry. So you don't have to worry कि वहाँ लगेगा सब में लगता है, right? And we are processing claims of business dues and export dues from defaulting customers located across 24 states in India, right? So that's a little bit of ourselves. So thank you so much for allowing me this opportunity to share, and let's get started. So let's first see what is MSME's contribution to Indian economy. What is actually your contribution to Indian economy, right? So MSME contributes to 11 crore plus jobs in the economic sector, and it contributes to 29% of India's GDP. It contributes to 45% of total exports of the country. So all these figures and data, they make MSME sector as one of the biggest contributing sector in the economy, right? But despite being the biggest contributing sector, MSME has always been facing this constant problem of delayed payments. So there was this survey which was done by ET Magazine in November 2019 to find out the cause and the solutions for this problem. तो कुछ बहुत interesting चीजें उसमें से निकल के आई थी. So let's look at क्या findings थी. So the first question was that who are your customer base, MSME ka? So almost 46% of the MSME customers are from the private sector companies, 10% of the government PSUs departments, 7% of the MNCs. Second question was, how long do your customers take to make payments? How long do your customers take to make payment? So only 22% of the companies say that we recover within 60 days. 10% say that we recover within 45 days, and moving 44% companies say that unpredictable. मतलब कि भगवान भरोसे है कि हमारे पैसे कमाएंगे, जब आ जाए तब अच्छा है, right? Then how many MSMEs wait for more than 90 days for payment recovery? So one third to half of the MSMEs say that they have to wait for more than 3 months, more than 90 days for recovery of undues. Then very important question: how much MSMEs write off as bad debts? कितना पैसा डूबत खाते में लिख रहे हैं? So almost out of every 10 companies, 6 MSMEs, that means 60% of the MSMEs, they say that we write off up to 5% of our annual turnover every year. And almost 70% say that we write off up to 20%. So imagine in this very competitive post-COVID world scenario, where 15 to 20% net profit margin is supposed to be a very good net profit margin. If any company is writing off 5 to 10% of their annual turnover every year, so what happens? So you don't feel the heat in 1 or 2 years, but the moment you write it off for 4 or 5 years, 3 4 years, so all of a sudden, a lot of your capital gets eroded. You see book profits, but you don't actually have cash profits in hand, right? And that's why a lot of business just shut down overnight. And we think that, oh, it was running so well, how it can happen overnight? It doesn't happen overnight. It happens like over a period of time. And that's why it's very important to minimize your bad debt same rate. Okay. And then the last and the most important question: which customers segment gives you the toughest time to recover your dues? So of all the troublesome customers, it came out that 42% come from those private sector entities, 24% are those big government PSUs and large government departments, and 21% are those large MNCs. So 42 plus 24 plus 21, 86 to 87% troublesome customers are who? They are those big government departments, big PSUs, large MNCs, big private companies who have deep pockets, who have a dominant position, who have a huge size, and who by कभी क्रेडिट नोट देंगे, कभी एडजस्टमेंट नोट देंगे, कभी ये बोलेंगे, कभी वो बोलेंगे, बट टाइम पे पैसा नहीं देंगे, because they know that MSMEs कुछ नहीं बिगाड़ सकती उनका. There is not much that MSMEs can do about it, because MSMEs के पास नॉलेज नहीं है, इतना पैसा नहीं है, वो एक्सपर्टाइज नहीं कि वो लड़ सके, राइट? सो आप में से कितने लोग हैं ऐसे हैं who all face the problem of delayed payments primarily from your bigger customers? Please type B for big customers in the chat box. अगर आपको भी जो है अपने बड़े कस्टमर से फेस होता है, please type B in the chat box. Thank you so much, Saurav Srivastava. Be in the chat box if you also face this problem primarily from your bigger customers. Thank you, Ayushi ji, Aditya ji, Padmada ji, me multiple times. Yes, I understood. Anand ji, Sai Prasad ji, Rufus ji, Saurabh ji, very common problem. Yes, Saurabh ji, very correct. James Anthony ji, Sanjeevni ji, Rajendra Nathani ji, Divya Rawat ji, Abhinav Gill ji. Yes, thank you so much, everyone. Continue. सारे MSMEs के साथ है, and that's why it is very very important for us to have this knowledge, जिससे कि हम ये रिकवरीज को स्टार्ट कर सके और उन मेथड्स पे जा सके जिससे कि हमारी रिकवरी श्योर शॉर्ट होती हो, राइट? बिगर द नेम वेरी हार्ड टू गेट द मनी. हितेश जी, वेरी करेक्ट. इनफैक्ट बट ये नॉलेज जब आपको मिलेगा ना हितेश जी, बिगर द नेम इजियर टू गेट द मनी, बिलीव मी, दैट्स हाउ इट वर्क्स, राइट? सो ऑल दैट इज गोना बी चेंजिंग फ्रॉम टुडे. So let's first see what is the MSME definition. What does MSME stand for? हम बहुत MSME ऐसे बात करते हैं, पर MSME definition actual क्या है वो देखते हैं. So ये MSME Act है, MSMED Act 2006, Micro Small Medium Enterprise Act 2006, which has been passed by Parliament of India for the benefit of the MSME sector, and it has some strong, very strong money recovery provisions. एक dedicated chapter ही है और इसमें MSME की definition भी है. तो हम definition देखते हैं. ये 2000 से एक definition चली आ रही and उसके बाद फिर जुलाई 2020 में एक और नई डेफिनेशन चालू हुई, तो हम पहले पुरानी डेफिनेशन देखेंगे एंड फिर नई डेफिनेशन देखेंगे और ये भी देखेंगे व्हाई इट गॉट चेंज. ओके, सो इन द ओल्ड MSME डेफिनेशन, वन क्राइटेरिया टू फाइंड आउट अगर आप MSME है कि नहीं है, and that was in your investment in plant and machinery or equipment. Okay, and there were different limits for manufacturing enterprise and different for service enterprise. Okay, so if you're into manufacturing sector and if your investment in plant and machinery or equipment was less than 25 lakhs, then you are a micro enterprise. If your investment in plant and machinery was less than 5 crores, then you are a small enterprise. And if your investment in plant and machinery was less than 10 crores, then you are a medium enterprise. Similarly, if you're in service sector and if your investment in plant and machinery was less than 10 lakhs, then you are a micro enterprise. It was less than 2 crores, then you are a small enterprise. It was less than 5 crores, then you are a medium enterprise. Now, this definition was going on since 2006, and it was long pending demand of industry that please change this definition because a lot of water has flown down since 2006. Today's service sector contributes equal rather more to the GDP of the country. The authorities think, please change the definition because we don't have the right data. But as usual, government सुन नहीं थी. But then came COVID, and COVID आने के बाद government, as we all know, Honorable Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman ने एक package introduce किया 25,000 crore का for the benefit of the MSMEs. But when then the government faced challenge that how do they ensure that the money flows down, trickle down to the right beneficiaries? So then they realized the need to change the definition to get the updated data, and then they changed the definition. Okay, so let's see what is this new definition. So in this new definition, an additional criteria was introduced: turnover, annual turnover. So now there's a composite criteria to see whether MSME or not, investment and annual turnover. Okay, so when I say or, it's Hindi wala or, because both needs to be satisfied, right? So and the manufacturing and service categories were merged. The differentiation was removed. So now, if your investment is less than 1 crore and your turnover is less than 5 crores, then you are a micro enterprise. Similarly, if your investment is less than 10 crores and your turnover is less than 50 crores, then you're a small enterprise. And if your investment is less than 50 crores and your turnover is less than 250 crores, then you're a medium enterprise. Now, what has happened? This one change of definition in one stroke, Government of India has brought 99% of companies in India under the MSME Act. And out of that 99% companies, 98% are under micro and small, right? That is why there never been a better time in the history of independent India for the MSMEs to know all the provisions which we're going to be sharing with you today and to empower themselves, right? So let's see who all have got this definition right. So please type M if you're micro, S if you're small, and MED if you're medium in the chat box. Please type M if you're micro, S if you're small, and MED if you're medium. Micro, medium, micro, small, micro, small, micro. Fantastic. So as we can see, every answer is micro and small except for one, right? And that's the percentage all over country as well. 98% are micro small enterprises and of the country, right? So fantastic. See, everybody seems to have got this definition right. So let's get moving forward, and let's now see the top 3 secrets for recovery of the delayed payments and export dues for MSMEs business owners, which you can use against any company in India or world to recover your payments at zero cost, fully on your own without going to civil criminal courts. Okay, so the first method is MSMED Act 2006. इसके कुछ बहुत important provisions है जो हम अभी कवर करेंगे अब. इसमें एक डेडिकेटेड चैप्टर है which has been given for the recovery of the delayed payments, right? Section 15 से 24 तक वो chapters दिए गए हैं. So section और ये वाला जो first secret method है, by the way, it's applicable to all the micro and small enterprises. अभी ये medium enterprise का applicable नहीं है, but आपके अगर पहले आप micro small थे तो आपके लिए वो applicable होगा. Or future maybe government, you don't know, government can bring this from medium also, but it's applicable to all micro and small enterprises. So please listen to this very carefully. So section 15 जो है, it says that it is liability of the buyer. मतलब अगर आप micro small enterprise हैं तो आपकी it is the liability of your buyer to make payment to you within 45 days. It's in the act itself. Government has given it in the act passed by parliament, right? Irrespective ki what is given in your contract, it doesn't matter. Irrespective that who's your opposite party, it doesn't matter. 45 means 45. So let me take you back to the Bare Act approach, because if you are here, then आप यहाँ हैं तो मेरी जिम्मेदारी है कि आपका concept एकदम clear हो. And there is no better way to clarify your concept than to refer the Bare Act. तो ये है वो Bare Act, Micro Small Medium Enterprise Development Act. हमने कहा इसका section 15, हम इसका section 15 देखते हैं. Chapter 5, delayed payment to micro and small enterprises. Is section 15, use key heading, right? So let's read this together. So where any supplier supplies any goods or renders any services to any buyer, the buyer shall make payment therefore on or before the date agreed upon between him and the supplier in writing, or where there is no agreement in this behalf before the appointed date, provided that in no case the period agreed upon between the supplier and the buyer in writing shall exceed 45 days. मतलब 45 days से तो ऊपर तो exceed हो ही नहीं सकता from the day of acceptance or the day of deemed acceptance. Okay, so what is the day of deemed acceptance? Let's go back to a presentation. So deemed of acceptance has been defined in section 2B, which means if no objection has been taken by buyer within 15 days of receipt of goods or services, a deemed acceptance. Okay? How does it help, Kiranji? So let me ask you a question to help you understand this better. आप में से कितने लोग ऐसे हैं जिनको ये चैलेंज है that whenever you supply goods or services and then when you go asking for the payment after 15 days, 30 days, 45 days, 60 days, only then your buyer wakes up and takes one or the other false excuse कि no, अभी तो वो goods की supply बाकी है, अभी तो वो service बाकी है, तो ये defect है, वो defect है, ये problem है, तो वो problem है, one or the other excuse just to delay your payment, false excuse. Please type E for excuse in the chat box. Please type E for excuse in the chat box if you face this problem generally. Thank you, Saurabh ji, Prabhakar ji, Nilesh ji, Sanjeevni ji, Rajendra ji, Ashish ji, Lakshita ji, Ramesh Babu ji, Hitesh ji, Chetan ji, Ayushi ji, Umesh ji, Manu ji, Ram ji, Arun ji. Oh my God, so many people are having this problem. So again, let me again take you to the Bare Act provision so that आपके concepts clear हो. हमने कहा section 2B, तो ये हम आ गए वापस Act पे. इसका section 2 उसका भी second explanation. The day of deemed acceptance, right? So the day of deemed acceptance, let's read this together, means where no objection is made in writing. मतलब objection writing पे लेना है, okay? फोन पे नहीं चलेगा, verbal नहीं चलेगा, email, WhatsApp चलेगा. No objection is made in writing by the buyer regarding acceptance of goods or services within 15 days. और objection भी 15 days में लेना है. From the day of the delivery of goods to the rendering of services, the day of actual delivery of goods or rendering of services. मतलब अगर आपके बायर ने 15 डेज डिलीवरी के 15 डेज के अंदर कोई ऑब्जेक्शन नहीं लिया, वो भी राइटिंग में, तो डीम्ड एक्सेप्टेंस हो गया. So next time when you go to your buyer asking for the payment and he takes an objection, being a good buyer supplier, you can remove it this time, but you tell him that look, I am a registered micro small enterprise supplier, and as per the law passed by Parliament of India, अगर आपको ऑब्जेक्शन लेना है ना, तो नेक्स्ट टाइम से मुझे राइटिंग में दीजिएगा और 15 डेज में दे दीजिएगा, नहीं तो वो डीम्ड एक्सेप्टेंस हो जाएगा. So next time onwards, whenever you go asking for payment, he'll not have any excuse to make, because if you would have taken an objection, you should have taken it in 15 days. और अगर वो लेगा तो आप उसको, I'm sure you will remove it, right? But क्योंकि there is always a false objection which he takes, so whenever you go asking for the payment next time, he'll not be able to delay it further, and your working capital will start improving. जो रिकवरी आपकी 30 days, 45, 60 days, 90 days में हो रही है, वो 15, 30, 45 days में होने लगी. And once your working capital improves, your turnover will increase. And as your turnover will increase, your profits will automatically rise, right? So even if you don't take anything from this webinar today, but just take this one thing. Of course, अभी बहुत सारी और powerful चीजें बताने वाले हैं. But you just take this one thing, right? It's going to be very helpful for you. So that was deemed of acceptance. Then we have next section, which says section 16, which says that अगर आपके buyer ने आपको payment नहीं दिया 45 days में, then he'll be liable to pay compound interest to you at the rate of 3 times of the bank rate notified by RBI. Bank rate is the rate at which RBI lends to the other banks, right? And that is 4.5 to 6%. उसका 3 times मतलब 15 to 18% is the rate at which they'll have to pay, right? And this is irrespective of what is given in your contract. आपके contract में 0% इंटरेस्ट लिखा हो या 4% इंटरेस्ट लिखा हो, उनको इसी इंटरेस्ट के कंपाउंड इंटरेस्ट के साथ देना होगा आपको पैसा 15 to 18% के रेट के साथ. एंड दैट टू रिस्पेक्टिव की सामने वाली पार्टी कौन है उससे कोई फर्क नहीं. देन सेक्शन 18 कि अगर आपकी बायर ने आपको पेमेंट नहीं किया, इंटरेस्ट भी नहीं दिया, तो फिर क्या, तो गवर्नमेंट ने बोला कि इट्स वेरी डिफिकल्ट फॉर माइक्रो स्मॉल एंटरप्राइज टू गो टू द सिविल कोर्ट्स एंड आर्बिट्रेशन, क्योंकि बहुत महंगे और बहुत कॉस्टली और बहुत टाइम कंज्यूमिंग होते हैं. So we are making this special body, MSEFC, Micro Small Enterprise Facilitation Council. So every MSE Micro Small Enterprise should go to them, and they can file their application with them, and they will only pass an order. And their order is equivalent to civil court decree, right? It's a part-time body, just make it head of industries chairman होते हैं, and senior government officials involved होते हैं, and they pass an order, right? And the order which is, and this is irrespective कि आपकी contract में क्या है. Even if your contract has कि दिल्ली कोर्ट सुनेगी, बॉम्बे कोर्ट सुनेगी, इस सिंगापुर में arbitration होगा, एक सेंट पे आप एंटर करेंगे, it doesn't matter. If you go to MSME council, then only they will have jurisdiction to hear the case, and rest all the other remedies under your contract will become null and void, because this is the remedy provided by the Parliament of India. And today every state in India has an MSME council, and you just have to go to your own state MSME council. Your opposite party, no matter where is in India, he'll have to come running to your state, right? Then section 19. So once the MSME council, they pass an order, and it's in your favor and against your buyer, And if he wants to file an appeal against it, then he can only do it after depositing 75% of the ordered amount. And it goes to civil court, and it goes on for 5-7 years, and he loses, then he will again have to pay interest for 5-7 years, right? So let me explain this by way of an example. Suppose you have to recover 1 crore from one of your customer, and you went to the MSME council after 1 year, and after 1 year you got an order that yes, 1 crore is payable to you, plus they also wanted an interest of 30 lakhs in your favor. So now now you got an order of 1 crore 30 lakhs. So if your buyer wants to file an appeal against this order, he'll have to compulsorily deposit 75% of this 1 crore 30 lakhs. That is 1 crore itself. And it will go to civil court, go on for 4-5 years, 7 years. And if he loses, then he'll again have to pay interest on 5-7 years. Which these big corporates and PSUs, they very well. And that's why they come running whenever such order is passed to avoid interest, right? So let me ask you, if you're in this situation, in this example, and your buyer makes you an offer that, okay, boss, look, just take this 1 crore and leave the interest and let's do business together. So will you settle or not? Please type yes if you'll settle. If you're getting full 1 crore of your principal amount and he will promise to do more business in future. Thank you. Yes, 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 settle. Yes. Yes, yes, fantastic. That's the right thing to do in our opinion also, because the work of businessmen is not to fight, but to settle, take money and do business again, right? To grow the business. So that's the right thing to do. And this one clause entails a lot of settlement. Anybody who has any questions? Somebody is typing the questions I saw. So please type in the Q&A box so that it doesn't get missed. And I'll answer all of it together at the end of the webinar. Okay. Then we have next section, section 22, which says that any buyer, any party who buys any goods or services from a micro small enterprise, then they'll have to compulsorily mention all those pending dues in their audit accounts, all the pending dues which they have not paid within 45 days. And to enforce this, they've came out with notification dated 2nd November 18 and 22nd January 19 by the MSME Ministry and the Ministry of Corporate Affairs. So far, so good. How does it help energy? So let me ask you a question. Help me understand this better. How many of you have payments which are pending beyond 3 years and you have lost complete hope how to recover it? Please type 3 in the chat box if you have payments beyond 3 years and if you are written off completely. 3 in the chat box. 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. Oh, it's never exact, never ending. So many people. So again, let me take you back to the wherein Act approach. इतने लोगों को problem है, तो it's important कि आपके concepts clear. तो ये है together. The exercise was conferred by the MSME Act. The government directs that all companies which supply goods or services from date of acceptance or the date of deemed acceptance of the goods or services as per the provisions of the Act, and whose payment is to micro small enterprise suppliers exceed 45 days, then they shall submit a half-yearly return to the ministry stating the following: the amount of payment due and the reasons for delay. Okay, half-yearly return there with these 2 things. फिर ये MC की भी notification आ गई, Ministry of Corporate Affairs. हिंदी वाला छोड़ देते हैं, इंग्लिश पे आ जाते हैं. Okay. Dated 22nd January 19. Same thing. 45 days में जिसने पेमेंट नहीं किया माइक्रो स्मॉल एंटरप्राइजेस को, उनको एक हाफ ईयरली रिटर्न भरना पड़ेगा, stating the following: the amount of payment, reasons for delay. Then they have given a good thing. उन्होंने ये फॉर्म दे दी, MSME फॉर्म 1. ओके, बेसिक डिटेल्स के बाद उन्होंने बोला कि ये जो इनिशियल रिटर्न है, पहला रिटर्न जो भरेंगे, उस दिन तक का टोटल आउटस्टैंडिंग जितना है वो सारा भर देना है एज अ डेट ऑफ नोटिफिकेशन ऑफ दिस ऑर्डर. What is this date? As we saw, 22nd January 19. तो इस दिन तक का जितना ड्यू था, वो 14-15 का हो, 16-17 का हो, 17-18 का हो, जब का भी वो सारा उनको यहाँ भर देना था. देन और भी डिटेल्स देनी कि इसका फाइनेंशियल ईयर का है, सप्लायर कौन है, पैन क्या है, अमाउंट कितना ड्यू है, किस डेट से ड्यू है. फिर रेगुलर रिटर्न भरना है, वही सेम चीज अप्रैल टू सितंबर के लिए, फिर वही सेम चीज अक्टूबर टू मार्च के लिए. देन गुड थिंग दैट दे गिवन कि रीजन क्या है वो डिले हुआ. And the best thing they have done is this. एक note दे दिया. Attention is drawn to provision of subsection 4 of section 405 of Companies Act, which provide for punishment for any information statistics which is incorrect or incomplete in any material respect. मतलब कि अगर कोई कंपनी ने गलत इंफॉर्मेशन दी या इनकम्प्लीट इंफॉर्मेशन दी तो गवर्नमेंट ने उसको क्रिमिनल ऑफेंस बना दिया. That's the extent to which the government has gone for protection of MSMEs, right? So far so good. पैसे कैसे आएंगे? So recently Honorable Supreme Court ने नरिमन साहब का एक जजमेंट जिसमें उन्होंने बोला है ऐसा कंपनी में that if any company has shown any pending amount in their audited accounts or in any of the statutory forms and the losses they have to keep showing every year till they have not made the payment. So the period of limitation to recover against them will start again from the date of that entry. And because they're making it every year, so the limitation again will start every year, right? So everyone who said yes, we have dues older than 3 years and we have lost complete hope, all that you have to do, go back, take the audited accounts of your buyer or go to mc.gv.in, ये MSME form में डाउनलोड कर दीजिए, वहां पर एंट्री फिल कीजिए है तो you can start the recovery again within 3 years. जैसे वो डेट है उन्होंने एंट्री की है, और नहीं है तो file a complaint against them and their auditors and they'll have to show it and then you can start the recovery. So everybody who said that we have lost complete hope for those 3 years old dues, are you now able to see a ray of hope? Please type H for hope in the chat box. Please type H for hope in the chat box if you're now able to see a ray of hope. Thank you so much. Any questions, please type in the Q&A box so that it doesn't get missed and I answer it all together at the end. Please type in the Q&A box. Thank you so much. Prabhakar ji, Radharam ji, Vivek ji, Harish ji, Umesh ji. Fantastic. Then come next section, section 23, which talks about deduction of interest paid not allowed under income tax. Okay. So this is like a chota amount. Okay. So let's गवर्नमेंट ने ये बोला कि अगर कोई पार्टी डिले पेमेंट देती है माइक्रो स्मॉल एंटरप्राइज को, उसको इंटरेस्ट देना पड़ता है, तो उसको इनकम टैक्स में इंटरेस्ट का डिडक्शन का बेनिफिट नहीं मिलेगा. So let's go back to the same example which we've taken before to help you understand this better. 1 crore का प्रिंसिपल था, 30 lakhs का जो आपका अवार्ड इंटरेस्ट था. तो 1 मिनट के लिए अज्यूम कर लेते हैं कि आपको ये 1 crore प्रिंसिपल और 30 लाख इंटरेस्ट मिल गया, मतलब यू गॉट 1 crore 30 lakhs फ्रॉम योर बायर. सिर्फ अज्यूम कर लेते हैं, मैं बोल रहा हूँ ना, मतलब ये नहीं बोलेगा कि विनय जी ने बोला था मिल गया तो मैं सिर्फ बोल रहा हूँ अज्यूम कर लीजिए कि मिल गया. तो गवर्नमेंट ने बोला कि जो 30 lakhs आपको इंटरेस्ट मिला, तो आपके बायर ने जो आपको पे किया 30 lakhs, उस 30 lakhs को उसको इनकम टैक्स का जो बेनिफिट मिल रहा है डिडक्शन का, जनरली 1/3 इनकम टैक्स बच जाता है 10 लाख, वो नहीं मिलेगा. He'll have to pay income tax on the whole 30 lakhs, right? And that's a huge provision, especially when the interest itself is in crores of rupees. That's why the big corporate spaces they want to set limit, which will show you very quickly कैसे वो होता है, right? So that's section 23. Then your next section, section 24, which says that all of these sections, they have an overriding effect, right? So let's do a quick recap. Section 15, 45 days में देना है, मतलब देना है. Deemed of acceptance, फंडिंग ऑब्जेक्शन नहीं किया तो फिर deemed acceptance. Section 16, compound interest at 3 times of the bank. Section 18, काउंसिल के पास चला गया तो फिर कोई सिविल कोर्ट पकड़ नहीं. Section 19, अपनी कंडीशन 20% डिपॉजिट, right? Section 22, कंपल्सरी मेंशन पेंडिंग ड्यूज जो भी होंगे 45 डेज में उसको ऑडिट अकाउंट्स में दिखाना ही पड़ेगा. Section 23, इनका इंटरेस्ट रिडक्शन नहीं मिलेगा, मतलब नहीं मिलेगा. And then section 24, so all of these sections they have an overriding effect. So if you go back, take out all your contracts, अगर उनमें ये sections नहीं है तो इनको आप provisions को डाल सकते हैं, implement कर सकते हैं आज भी, और अगर नहीं है तो आगे वाले contracts में भी provisions को आप डाल सकते हैं. Okay, so how many of you are finding these provisions to be useful? Please type U in the chat box. Please type U in the chat box if you're finding these provisions to be useful. I again request, sir, आपके अगर कोई cases हैं तो उनको please questions है तो Q&A box में लिखिए please, so that we don't miss the questions and answer it all together at the end. Thank you so much everyone. सबने का very useful of course. Now my next question, but how many of you are knowing about these provisions? Please type yes if you're knowing and please type no if you're not knowing. No, all knows. Fantastic. So again, the problem is not कि delayed payment है. The problem is कि awareness नहीं है. The problem is कि किसी ने MSMEs को बताया नहीं कि ये वो तरीके जिससे कि recovery हो सकती है, right? अगर पता होता तो recovery हो जाती. So I'm showing you a few case studies here, जिसमें कि बड़ी PSUs ने companies ने ये सारे provisions को challenge किया है before the honorable high courts and honorable supreme court on the grounds that they're absolutely illegal, unequal, invalid and unconstitutional. सेक्शन 18 की आर्बिट्रेशन में हम क्यों जाएंगे, एमएसएमई कौन सा हमारा सिविल कोड का रिस्ट्रिक्शन, सेक्शन 19 70% को क्यों जमा करना है, फिर इंटरेस्ट क्यों कंपोनेंट देना पड़ेगा, हमारे कॉन्ट्रैक्ट में तो 0% इंटरेस्ट है. ऑल दीस प्रोविजंस दे हैव बीन चैलेंज्ड टाइम एंड अगेन before honorable different honorable courts, but the good thing is every time they have been challenged, then every time all the honorable high courts and the honorable supreme court, they have held these provisions to be absolutely valid, legal, equal and constitutional on the ground that MSME is a very special type of entity, and to protect them, a very special act has been framed by Parliament, MSMED Act 2006. And MSMEs cannot survive without doing business with you big guys, and you big guys also cannot run your business without doing business with MSMEs. But if you don't pay them on time, they'll die. And if you have to pay them on time into business, what is your fear? You keep doing business with them, right? And they've held all these provisions to be absolutely legal, valid, constitutional, and equal. So what I'm trying to tell you is that the provisions that we discuss, it's not that they've come overnight. They have been here, they've been tried and tested, and they've withstood the scrutiny by the highest courts of the land. And that's what makes them very, very powerful. And I'll just quickly show you a testimonial clip of one of our clients who we helped in recovery using these methods to give you the belief that yes, these provisions work. So ये राजीव खिमसारिया जी हैं बॉम्बे से, ये MSME ऐप की तरफ. So let's listen to him, how these provisions helped him in the recovery, how we helped them in recovery. Mr. Rajiv Khimsaria.
Hello, I am Rajendra Khimsaria, founder director at Khimsaria Associates Private Limited, Mumbai. We are into sales and marketing of pharmaceutical and packaging machinery. We were having a problem of recovery of a large amount of money from one of our principals whose machines we sell to the pharmaceutical industry. And we came to know about Mr. Vinay Kumar Jain through one of the webinar. We were very impressed with his concept of recovery of money without going to the court in a shortest time with very little investment. We approached him, and then the process was seamless. It was online, and we exchanged mails, we had Zoom meetings, and they thoroughly understood our case, drafted the notice for our principals, and the notice was sent. And within 10 days, we got our money, which was about 2 years old, immediately. And then there were other outstanding amounts which were as old as 1 year to 3 months. We were called for settlement from our principals, and we were able to recover our. We were able to reach a settlement amount, and everything was settled in less than 3 months' time. We very much thankful to Mr. Vinay Kumar Jain for his assistance.
So within 10 days, they were able to recover more. Their dues are older in 2 years, right? I'm getting a few messages how we can help you in recovery. So here is this 2 minutes inquiry form in the chat box. If you need our assistance in recovery, then just fill this 2 minutes inquiry form, and our team will reach out to you, and they'll tell you how we can help you in recovery of the dues. Okay, here's the 2 minutes inquiry form. You just need to click on the form, and you can fill it, and our team will reach out to you how we can help you in recovery. So that was our first method, which is MSME Act 2006. I'm sure you found it useful, and now we'll move to the second method, secret method, which is MSME Samadhan. It is a monitoring system which has been introduced by current Honorable Prime Minister LG under the aegis of the MSME Ministry. Okay, this is a portal which has been created by the MSME Ministry, where all the micro and small enterprises, you can go and file applications online regarding delayed payment beyond 45 days. Okay, no matter where you are and no matter where is your buyer located, you can just go online and file it. Okay, all that you need is your Udyog Aadhaar number for it, which is now Udyam. You need mobile number, Aadhaar number of your director, partner, proprietor, or yours. You need buyer details which you have. You need work order which you have. You don't have an affidavit, we don't have, and you need the copy of the undisputed invoices. Undisputed means it should not be a case where there's a civil case going on that delivery has happened or not happened, things like that. Okay. So if these conditions are getting satisfied, then you just need to go to this online portal, msme.gov.in, and file it. Okay, it is as easy as uploading a Facebook post if you have all these documents. Okay, and immediately as you'll file, a notice will be sent within 15 days to buyer directly from the MSME ministry, right? Asking them that why you have not paid so and so amount to so and so party with so and so date, and why if you will still not pay, then we'll recover it along with the interest directly from the ministry. So a lot of people, they just pay by fear of this notice, which comes directly from the MSME ministry. Then a status is also sent to the state MSME council, with whom then you have to do the physical filing, which is very simple. You just they have fixed format, one page. You just have to take a print out, fill that format, and then submit it along with the documents that you have already submitted. Okay, and within the law says within 90 days, MSME council has to decide that, but it generally doesn't happen, especially post-COVID, because thousands and lakhs of cases across India. Because they were not equipped to because they're not a full body, right? And that's why they're taking somewhere 6 months or 9 months or 1 year or 1.5 years to pass an order. We say it's good, you take 18 months, we are fine. You take 24 months, we are fine with that. So, because what is the alternate remedy? Go to the civil courts and arbitration. There to nothing happens in 5-7 years, right? And we have to pay so much of fees cost also, right? Pass an order in 1 year, 1.5 years, 2 years, still much better for us. Why? Because we know that you are going to be ordering along with compound interest at the rate of 3 times of the bank rate notified by payment. Not a penny more, not a penny less. Nobody has power to reduce it, right? And if it's in our favor, then the buyer will have to deposit 75% of the amount, which entails a lot of settlement, right? Plus the fees. So first of all, the fees is absolutely free. Online filing key, no matter in which part of the India, online filing is absolutely free. Filing is also free in a lot of states. In few states they charge, but that to a very nominal amount of 100,000 rupees, irrespective of your claim amount. So if your claim amount is 10 lakhs, then also 100,000. If it is 1 crore, also 100,000. If it is 10 crores, then also 100,000. Whereas if you go to civil court and you have a 1 crore claim amount, you will have to pay 2-3 lakhs. It is 10. So are you able to see? You can start the recovery fully on your own, filing it online at zero cost. 1,000 rupees is no cost, without going to court and against any company in India or world. So do you think I have fulfilled the promise which I made to you at the start of the webinar, that you're going to be learning the methods to recover on your own without going to court against any company in India or world and at zero cost? Please type PF for promise fulfilled. If you think I have fulfilled my promise which I made at the start of the webinar, please type PF, promise fulfilled. Thank you so much, Mr. James, Dhani, Bakaji, Rajaramji, Rajenji, Sai Prasad, Manoj ji, fantastic. Thank you so much. Hitesh ji, Ramana ji, Umesh ji, Hemant ji, Ashish ji, Harish ji, Girdhari ji. Thank you so much. I'm obliged. Then one of the most beautiful aspects of the scheme is because it's been introduced by Narendra Modi ji. So he's made a whole dedicated team sit in the PMO just to watch cases filed under MSME Samadhan. Now, if any case comes against any central PSU, then immediately a notice is sent to the MD of that central PSU, asking that why you have not, paid to so and so company and so amount. Okay, and with a copy to the cabinet secretary, right? And that's why standing instructions have been given in a lot of central PSUs that if any case comes under MSME Samadhan, then immediately just pay off. If it is not disputed and if it is dead for some other reason, but to just pay off it, close. Why? Because do you think any MD would want to be answerable to the PMO office? No, right? That's the power of MSME Samadhan. Then there's a provision: if you have recovered your principal but not along with the interest, then you can file for interest as well. If you have recovered the principal but with a lot of delay. Plus, prior registration is not necessary. Okay, so if you don't have the your invoices before your Udyam or Udyog Aadhaar, but you have the IAM Part 1, Part 2, then you can still file the case. That's what Honorable Supreme Court. But if you have IAM Part 1, Part 2, and if your invoices are post previous year Udyam or Udyog, then you cannot file the case. Okay, then the order is binding on foreign buyers as well. So this FAQ 47 in this website, where exporter, and if your fan buyer is not paying, then you can just go to this website. You can just follow the same process, and they've given the instructions how to enforce it with the foreign buyer. Then limitation act doesn't apply. No time buying. Most people ask me even if your case is older than 4 or 5 years, you can still go online, file it, and the conciliation hearings will happen as per Honorable Supreme Court. Only if it doesn't get settled within that time. A lot of cases get settled by that stage only. Only then the Limitation Act will apply, and in the arbitration proceeding. But whereas if you go to civil courts and arbitration, you cannot even file it, right? For cases older than 3 years. So that's a very, very powerful aspect of MSME Samadhan. So I'm sharing a few case studies here. We're seeing these cases, it's all available online. I'm just showing you here that how does it work practically. So there was a case against these two privately owned companies where 12.5 lakh due was. So the case was filed for recovery of 12.5 lakhs. Not only that, they recovered 12.5 lakhs, but they also interest of 12.5 lakhs. So मांगने गए थे 12.5 लाख और मिल गए 35 lakh. Then there was this case against a big listed company which was not doing very well financially. So when they around 10 crores due was to be paid by them to one of the vendors, and the vendor was not knowing anything what to do because his recovery cost to civil court was more than 1 crore, including court fees and all that. He was clueless, but when he got to know about MSME Samadhan, he filed the case in the MSME Samadhan, right? And this big company tried everything in the book. Case dismissed ho jaye, chairman ho jaye, kuch ho jaye, but nothing like that happened. He got to come in favor of the vendor, and he got his money. The settlement happened without he needing to spend 1 crore. Then there was this case against the state government PSU where there was a total tender amount of 21 crores, out of which 1 crore 8 lakhs were pending. And the case was filed by MSME Samadhan. So not only the contractor got 1 crore 84 lakhs, but he got interest of 3 crore 60 lakhs. So मांगने गए थे 1 crore 80 lakh और मिल गए total 5 crore 40 lakh, including interest. Now what are the options with this contractor, with this state government PSU? 3 options. Number 1, they pay the whole 5 crore 40 lakhs. So if they do, remember that clause where they lose the income tax reduction or interest also. So income tax on 3 crore 60 lakhs is 1 crore 20 lakhs, right? So they lose 540 plus 120, 640 they lose 6 crore 40 lakhs. That's not an option. People will lose their jobs. Second option, they file a appeal against it. So for that, they'll have to deposit 75% of this 5 crore 40 lakhs. That's again 4 crores. It will go to civil court, pending for 5-7 years. If they lose, again pay interest. Again, that's not an option. Third option, you pay this 1 crore 84 lakhs to the contractor and then just settle it off. And something like this happened in this case also. The state government PSU was supposed to put on its knees and pay the amount to the contractor. That's the power of MSME Samadhan. So are you finding MSME Samadhan to be powerful? Please type P in the chat box if you're finding MSME Samadhan to be powerful. Are you finding MSME Samadhan to be powerful? Thank you so much, Ashish ji, Mr. Anthony, ji, Rajaram ji, Venkatesh ji, Kedari ji. Fantastic. Thank you so much. Vivek ji, Sai Prasad ji. But क्या आपको इसके बारे में पता था? Please type yes अगर पता था. Please type no अगर नहीं पता. My next question is क्या आपको इसके बारे में पता था? No. Right. So again, the problem is not कि डिलेड पेमेंट. द प्रॉब्लम इज कि अवेयरनेस नहीं दी किसी ने. एमएसएमई से किसी ने बताया कि एमएसएमई एक्ट नहीं पता, वैसे एमएसएमई संविधान में नहीं पता, राइट? अवेयरनेस नहीं है. पता भी है तो कैसे उसको इंप्लीमेंट करना है वो नहीं पता. ऑनलाइन फाइलिंग के साथ साथ ऑफलाइन फाइलिंग भी मैंडेटरी है, वो नहीं पता. थोड़ा पेशेंस चाहिए रहता है फॉलो के लिए. साथ साथ जो मिसिंग होते हैं इसकी वजह से डिस्मिस हो जाते हैं. बट हैविंग सेड ऑल दैट, डिस्पाइट ऑल ऑफ दिस, सक्सेस रेट इज वेरी वेरी हाई एंड encouraging, राइट? So till date total ये डेटा जो है वो गवर्नमेंट का है, एमएसएमई समाधान की वेबसाइट से ही है. Till date 90,000 applications have been filed the MSME समाधान for recovery of 25,000 crores rupees. सोचिए 25,000 की रिकवरी के लिए केसेस फाइल हो गए हैं अभी तक टोटल, and people still don't know about it. And out of this 90,000 applications, around 25,000 applications are currently under consideration by the council. उस पे hearing चल रही है. 30,000 applications are yet to be viewed by the council. उसको छूना अभी भी बाकी है. Please excuse me for my maths because in 7th I got supplementary. In 9th I somehow got promoted. In 11th I failed every internal exam and got passed in final exam using important questions. And in 12th I was blank for the first 45 minutes of the maths paper. So 93 minus 40, 56 is like 36,000 cases are pending. 36,000 cases ऐसे जिसपे कुछ हो चुका है. 26 में से 18,000 applications have been rejected by the council. That means मतलब वो टेक्निकल रीजन की वजह से गलत फाइलिंग हुई और अपराइट रिजेक्शन हो गया विदाउट एनी हियरिंग, राइट? कभी वॉइस नहीं दिया, कभी ऑर्डर नहीं दिया, कभी गलत फाइल किया, कभी सिर्फ ऑनलाइन किया, ऑफलाइन नहीं किया. So 36 में से 18 गए बच्चे. 18,000 एप्लीकेशंस ऐसे जिस पर फाइलिंग हुई, कुछ हुआ है. Out of those 18,000 applications, 9,000 have been disposed of by the council, right? So that means win, lose, yes, no, something has happened. We don't know what has happened, something has happened. Remaining how much? 9,000. Those 9,000 cases have been mutually settled between the parties. That means what? What is my settlement ratio? It's more than 50%. If I know it and if I'm doing it right. I am not aware of about any other forum or provision in the country which gives me a settlement ratio of more than 50%. That's the power of MSME, right? So I'll just do this quick sharing of one of our clients, Mr. Ravi Kapoor. He's he's from Delhi NCR, and how we helped in recovery of this dues using MSME Samadhan provisions. Rather than he wanted to go to civil courts and all that, but then they realized how foolish it would have been. So let's listen to Mr. Ravi Kapoor.
Hi, good afternoon. I'm Ravi Kapoor, Managing Director of Absolute Security and Facility Management Private Limited. I'm recording this short video to just give a testimonial to services that I utilize of Vinay. Recently, there was a client of ours who was not paying us for almost 2 years. We kept fighting him in the civil court, but with very little results. As soon as I sent the notices under MSME Act, as guided by Vinay and his team, he quickly responded, and within about month and a half, he quickly came to a table and gave me my about 2.5 lakh rupees that were due to me. I must thank Vinay and his team for doing an amazing job. Most importantly, guiding me towards using MSME rather than running around in the civil court, which could have taken, how long a time. Great job. Best of luck. I hope you do even better in future. Thanks. Bye.
So we don't know how long it would have taken to go to civil courts, right? Years and years, which they were able to do it within a couple of months. That's the power of MSME Samadhan. So I'm again getting a few messages how we can help you. So here is an inquiry form in the chat box. If you need our assistance, then just fill up this inquiry form and our team will be very happy to reach out to you. So inquiry form pe aap click kariye chat box mein and you can just fill it. It'll take you 1 minute, 2 minutes, and our team will let you know how we can help you. So we have seen the first two methods, MSME Samadhan humne dekh liya, MSME Act dekh liya, which we have found to be useful and powerful. Of course they are. And now we'll move to the third method, which is insolvency and bankruptcy court. Okay, and this is super duper powerful. Of course, वो दोनों बहुत powerful, बहुत अच्छे हैं, but this is super duper powerful in my opinion. And this mother of all provisions today in India, right? आपने इसके बारे में सुना भी होगा, आपको लगता होगा यार ये तो बड़ी-बड़ी बैंक्स ने 100,000 करोड़ रुपए रिकवर किए, किसी कंपनी ने किसी कंपनी को 500,000 करोड़ रुपए खरीद लिया, तो आपको लगता होगा ये तो कोई only for big people. It's not like that. It's for everybody if you're satisfying the conditions given there, right? Let's see what is this. What are they? So if your buyer is a corporate and they don't pay you 1 lakh and above, अभी limit 1 crore की हो गई है, but they didn't pay you 1 lakh and above, then you being the supplier become the operational creditor. So buyer is a corporate मतलब buyer एक LLP है, private limited company, public limited company, right? And आप एक operational creditor बन जाते हैं, and then you can send him a notice to pay within 10 days. और अगर वो नहीं करता, then you can file a petition for insolvency of your buyer. Okay, so you need your invoice and acceptance for that, right? उसके लिए आपको invoice चाहिए और acceptance of buyer की जरूरत है. तो अगर आपके पास invoice है, acceptance है, मतलब कोई dispute नहीं है, कोई civil case नहीं है, और ये monetary limit में आप file कर रहे हैं, और आपने उनको notice दे दिया pay करने का, फिर भी उन्होंने pay नहीं किया है, so then you can just go and file a petition, insolvency petition with the NCLT. And NCLT के पास और कुछ चारा नहीं है, अगर ये condition satisfy हो रही, but to admit the petition. और जैसे ही NCLT admit करेगी petition, immediately resolution professional will be appointed on the board of director of your buyer immediately. So far so good. मैंने कैसे आए? तो जैसे resolution professional एक appoint होगा on the board of director of your buyer, immediately all the powers of the board of director are stand withdrawn. In fact, the board of director of your buyer stands suspended. They cannot sign a check. They cannot hire somebody. They cannot fire somebody. They cannot accept a sales order. They cannot issue a purchase order. Nothing. Zero management power. Right? which these big corporates and PSUs they know very very well, and that's why they come running to settle the matter. एक केस था जिसमें भेल नवरत्न लिस्टेड पीएसयू उन्होंने अपने एक कॉन्ट्रैक्टर को 15 लाख रुपए नहीं दिए थे 5-6 महीने से, और he was made to run from pillar to post. When he got to know about this remedy, he just issued a notice, and within 15 days, within 2 weeks, he got the money in his bank account. Why? Can you imagine a Navratna listed PSU like Bhel? Can they afford to lose control just even for one day? No, right? Heads will roll, people will lose their jobs. And that's why I call this super duper powerful. Right? So it's only me who finds it super duper powerful कि आपको भी लग रहा है यार it's actually super duper powerful because nobody can afford to lose control of their company. Please type SD in the chat box if you're also finding this to be super duper powerful. Please type SD in the chat box. Wow. Absolutely. My next question, पर क्या आपको इसके बारे में पता था? Were you knowing about it? Please type yes अगर आपको पता है, please type no अगर नहीं पता. No. Great. So again, the problem is not कि रिकवरी नहीं होती कि डिलीट पेमेंट, द प्रॉब्लम इज कि अवेयरनेस नहीं, किसी ने बताया नहीं कि इस तरीके से रिकवरी करनी है, राइट? सो आई डू दिस लाइक जैसे एमएसएमई एक्ट नहीं पता वैसे ये भी नहीं पता, और पता भी तो इम्प्लीमेंट कैसे करना है वो नहीं पता. 1 लाख की लिमिट 1 करोड़ हो गई है विद इफेक्ट फ्रॉम 24 मार्च 2020, पर उसके पहले केसेस के लिए नाउ स्टिल 1 लाख लिमिट, राइट? Despite this, the success rate of IBC code is very very high and encouraging. ये जस्टिस MM कुमार साहब है, was the first president of NCLT, भी रिटायर हुए. उन्होंने अपने इंटरव्यू में कहा था कि IBC कोड के आने के बाद इंडिया की रैंकिंग वर्ल्ड ओवर ईज ऑफ डूइंग बिजनेस में इट हैज इंक्रीज्ड फ्रॉम 142nd to 63rd. 80 steps इंडिया जंप कर गया just in 4 years. Why? Because investors world over they want to prefer to invest in countries which has superior capital protection laws, strong capital protection laws. And IBC is that law. And if their capital is protected, then your payment is what? Your capital. That's also protected, right? Plus, जो NPS थे banks के, they have gone down from 12 lakh crores to 6 lakh crores. आधे हो गए. 12 lakh crores to 6 lakh crores हो गए. Right? That's the power of insolvency and bankruptcy. So I'll just do this quick sharing of one Mr. Vinod Karwaji. He is from Delhi NCR. He's also co-chairman of MSME Committee of PhD Chamber of Commerce, and he's an MSME like you all. So how we helped him in recovery using these provisions. Let's listen to Mr. Vinod Karwa. मैं आपको ये सब इसलिए बता रहा हूँ क्योंकि I want you to have this belief कि अगर उनके लिए हो सकता है तो आपके लिए भी ये methods काम कर सकते हैं. Mr. Vinod Karwa.
Mr. Vinay has full knowledge of due recovery procedure for MSME with all the update changes made by government time to time, which is usually not in knowledge of MSME sector. He is doing a phenomenal job by conducting seminars, presentation with different association to update MSME. A great initiative needed by this stressed sector. Would also say that his company VKG Law Office is giving prompt service to their clients at an affordable price.
I'll also do the sharing of one Mr. Ganesh Kumar Agarwal, who's from Central India. How we held in recovery of his state, Mr. Ganesh Agarwal.
Hi, Ganesh Kumar Agrawal. Would like to thank Mr. Vinay Jain and complete team of VKJ for assuring the recovery of my debt in such a smooth way. The documentation process was done in very few steps and followed by his team was just outstanding. The process of recovery was done as per their words and it was beyond my expectation. I wish the complete team of VKJ all the very best for the future profession and a special thanks to Mr. Vinay Jain. Thank you.
So if it can happen for them, if it can work for them, it will work for you also. It's just that कि आपको पता नहीं था. Now you've got to know, you've seen it, you've got to know the law, and you know how to do it, right? So now, Vinay will request you to type this query in the Q&A box. I'll answer it, right? So हमने knowledge तो देख लिया. अब what steps do you need to do now to recover your dues? What are those best practices, right? क्योंकि knowledge एक चीज है और अप्लाइड नॉलेज एक चीज है। हमको नॉलेज लेकर ज्ञानी नहीं बनना है, हमको तो रिजल्ट्स चाहिए, राइट? सो हाउ मेनी ऑफ यू एग्री कि नॉलेज से ज्यादा अप्लाइड नॉलेज इंपॉर्टेंट है? प्लीज टाइप ए इन द चैट बॉक्स, ए फॉर अप्लाइड नॉलेज इन द चैट बॉक्स, इफ यू एग्री कि नॉलेज से ज्यादा अप्लाइड नॉलेज इंपॉर्टेंट है। फैंटास्टिक, थैंक यू सो मच. So that's why now we're entering one of the most important part of the webinar. So these are the best practices that you can do. I would request everybody to be fully here with me, be focused, so that you can get to know that how we can implement it, right? So go back, check all your pending dues for the last 3 to 5 years. Okay, start sending notices as per MSMED Act 2006 and IBC Code 2016, जो भी applicable है आपको. And micro small enterprises जो अगर आप हैं तो MSME समाधान में फाइल करिए अपने केसेस को. ये करेंगे तो चांसेस आर दैट यू विल स्टार्ट रिकवरिंग इफ यू आर एबल टू डू इट राइट. ओके, जो माइक्रो स्मॉल एंटरप्राइज है, यू शुड आल्सो चेंज योर पेमेंट टर्म्स टू 45 days एज पर द एमएसएमई एक्ट 2006 प्लस डीम्ड एक्सेप्टेंस लाइए प्लस कमोडिटी टेस्ट लाइए, जो प्रोविजंस हमने देखे. ओके, जो मीडियम एंटरप्राइज ट्रेडर्स है, यू कैन लुक इनटू प्रोविजंस ऑफ आईबीसी कोड और उनको डिमांड नोटिस भेज सकते हैं अपोजिट पार्टीज को. जो प्राइवेट लिमिटेड है, लिमिटेड एलएलपी है, जब भी आप नोटिस भेजें प्लीज मेक श्योर यू आर sending it making out a proper case, so there is no delay in latches. Plus, please ensure that the documents information is filed accurately. क्योंकि हमने देखा बहुत सारे केसेस, thousands of cases get rejected क्योंकि गलत फाइलिंग हुई थी, right? If you want to get a screenshot, नहीं तो हम आपको फ्री में रिसोर्स का देंगे, right? Having said that, we have seen that MSMEs they face a lot of challenges in implementing these steps across the country. Lack of legal knowledge. अभी तो आप मेरे साथ तो समझ पा रहे हैं, पर जब आप खुद से करने जाते हैं तो कंफ्यूजन होता है कहाँ क्या एप्लीकेबल होगा. टाइमली एक्शन नहीं ले पाते, इतना टाइम नहीं होता कि कौन सी रेमेडी सही है उसको इम्प्लीमेंट कर पाए इमीडिएटली. लीगल स्किल नहीं होती, लीगल टीम नहीं होती, करने जाते हैं तो यार अब कैसे होगा आपको समझ नहीं आता, जिसकी वजह से बहुत मिस्टेक्स होती हैं ड्राफ्टिंग में, फाइलिंग में. ये मिस्टेक इसलिए भी होती है क्योंकि आपका बहुत सारा जो डिपेंडेंस है वो नॉन लीगल टीम पे होता है, आपकी सेक्रेटरी पे, अकाउंटेंट पे, सेल्स पे, मार्केटिंग पे एंड ऑल दैट, राइट? एंड it leads to lack of follow-up, it leads to delay, and as they say, just right? So how many of you think that you will face these challenges, any of these or all of these challenges? Please type C in the chat box. Please type C in the chat box. Correct. It's not with you, but it's all the MSMEs in the country. और इसका effect ये है कि delayed payment has become biggest pain point of India today, right? And उसका big reason है यही lack of knowledge, lack of awareness, lack of resources, inability to fight out, especially with bigger clients. और इसका impact आप पे ये आ रहा है कि रोज आप कैश फ्लो प्रॉब्लम, वर्किंग कैपिटल प्रॉब्लम से जूझ रहे हैं, इसके इंक्रीज सीसी लिमिट्स ले रहे हैं. बैंक्स भी आपके 90 डेज के ऊपर रिसीवेबल को कंसीडर नहीं करते ड्राइंग पावर के लिए, उन्होंने एक सिंडिकेट बना लिया है. जो एमएसएमईज हैं उन्होंने अपनी इस चक्कर में अपनी फैक्ट्री घर से मॉर्गेज कर रखा हुआ है, इसीलिए बहुत सारा आपका वर्क जो है फोकस जो आप प्रोडक्टिव वर्क पे जा रहा है, इंक्रीजिंग सेल्स एंड प्रॉफिट्स, एंड योर हेल्थ एंड फैमिली फिट आल्सो गोस फॉर अ टॉस. ओके, एंड द लिस्ट गोज ऑन एंड ऑन एंड ऑन एंड ऑन. तो आप में से कितने को लग रहा है कि आपकी स्टोरी चल रही है? प्लीज टाइप, और आप इसे रिलेट कर पा रहे हैं, प्लीज टाइप आर अगर आप इसे रिलेट कर पा रहे हैं तो. Wow, so many people. Wow. And RBI ने भी ये बोला है कि this problem has become huge. उन्होंने 2014-15 में एक प्रेस रिलीज निकाली थी जिसमें उन्होंने इस प्रॉब्लम को मेंशन किया था कि MSME सेक्टर फेसेस दिस प्रॉब्लम विद कॉर्पोरेट एंड गवर्नमेंट सेक्टर्स एंड डिपार्टमेंट आल्सो. इतना बढ़ गया कि 19 में उनको ये एक एक्सपर्ट कमेटी बनानी पड़ी MSME पे. उस एक्सपर्ट और प्री कोविड बनाई और उस एक्सपर्ट कमेटी ने बोला कि बायर्स टेंड टू यूज MSMEs एंड नॉट इनटू बैंक्स. मतलब आपके बायर्स, आप बैंक के पैसे इंटरेस्ट देके धंधा करते हैं और आपके बायर्स आपके पैसे धंधा करते हैं और आपको टाइम पे पेमेंट नहीं देते, क्रेडिट नोट देंगे, डिस्काउंट देंगे, पर टाइम पे पेमेंट नहीं देंगे. और इतने रिग्रेस प्रोविजन होने के बाद भी प्रॉब्लम फेस करते हैं बिकॉज नॉलेज नहीं है, इसलिए बार्गेनिंग पावर नहीं आ पाती, राइट? एंड इसीलिए जो MSMEs है वो फिर क्योंकि नॉलेज नहीं है तो सिविल कोर्ट जाते हैं, आर्बिट्रेशन जाते हैं, एंड दे पे lakhs of rupees यूजलेस कोर्ट फीस वगैरह में, which is like a throwing good money after bad money, irrespective के रिजल्ट आए नहीं है. तो 10 लाख तक के ड्यूज के लिए मिनिमम 1 लाख तक आप खर्चा कर देते हैं कोर्ट फीस वगैरह में, 50 लाख तक के लिए 2.5 लाख खर्चा कर देते हैं, 1 करोड़ तक के लिए 5 लाख तक खर्चा कर देते हैं, 2 करोड़ तक के लिए 10 लाख तक खर्चा कर देते हैं, 5 करोड़ तक के लिए 20 लाख खर्चा कर देते हैं, 10 करोड़ तक के लिए 35 लाख खर्चा कर देते हैं, एंड इट गोज ऑन एंड ऑन. पैसे आए नहीं आए, 5 साल 10 साल लग जाए, कोई फर्क पता नहीं, ऑर्डर हो नहीं हो कोई पता ही नहीं है, पैसे तो लग गए आपके, राइट? एंड आफ्टर कोविड वी ऑल नो इट हैज गॉन फ्रॉम बैड टू वर्स. सो ईटी का एक रिपोर्ट था मई 2021 का, 59% ऑफ MSMEs में शट शॉप सेल ऑफ और स्केल डाउन. और दिसंबर 2021 में हमारी गवर्नमेंट ने लोकसभा में बोला है हमारे MSME मिनिस्टर नारायण जी ने लोकसभा में राइटिंग में बोला है कि about 9% MSMEs got shut down due to COVID-19 disruptions. Government is telling लोकसभा, right? And उन्होंने आगे कहा राइटिंग में कि नेशनल क्राइम रिकॉर्ड्स के द्वारा a total of 9,052 businesses committed suicide in 2019, while the number increased to 11,006 in 2020. MSME Minister Nayan ji. So government, people, media who used to talk about suicide of farmers, they talk about suicide of business owners. That's the extent to which this problem is found. Right? So do you think today's knowledge is useful for you to solve this problem? हमने problems तो देख ली, challenges तो हैं, but we are here to talk about solutions, right? So do you think today's knowledge is useful for you to solve this problem? Please type yes in the chat box. क्या वो belief आ गया आपको? और थोड़ा सा और एक्सपर्टाइज मिल जाए तो इससे आप इसकी रिकवरी डेफिनेटली कर पाएंगे. जब उनकी हो सकती है तो हमारी भी हो सकती है, राइट? So the solution is our debt recovery services. As I've said before, I'm getting few messages also. So if you need assistance in recovery of your dues, so here is the link, a 2 minutes inquiry form link. So please click on this link in the chat box and fill up this 2 minutes inquiry form. Contact details be is inquiry form ko bhar dijiye, and then our team will reach out to you and they'll let you know how we can help you in recovery the dues. Okay, it's a very, very simple process. So I'll just quickly give you a glimpse of how do we work, what's our systems and infrastructure. So we are one of India's first debt recovery companies who have implemented state-of-the-art project management system. We have complete virtual working, right? And we have parent instance as we have seen. So this is the Google site where all the work happens virtually. जहाँ पर हमारी सारी चेकलिस्ट, सारे provisions, सारे dashboards, सब कुछ यहाँ पर है online work. Whenever any of our clients need their assistance in any of the case, so we share this claim form with them. It is a very exhaustive claim form, very simple to fill though. जिसमें कि it has all the information documents which we need. जैसे ही आप इसको भरते हैं तो we get everything in a very summarized format like this. आपको ना ऑफिस से निकलना है, ना अपने बंदे को भेजना है, ना कुछ कराना है. It's all online, right? Because we want that you do your business, we do the recovery for you. So ये सारा 2 pages में हमारे पास सारा आ जाता है like this in a very crisp format as soon as you fill it. And then our team checks it. कुछ missing होता है तो आपको automated email WhatsApp चला जाता है. And then it goes to our PMS systems. हमारे PMS systems में FMS जो है वो first part होता है, जिसमें it has been clearly defined what has to be done, who will do it, how will it be done, when will it be done. Okay. तो एक dedicated CRM आपके लिए point हो जाती है, who's a single point of contact, and she takes care of all the documentation work with you. और उसके बाद वो मैटर चला जाता है OMS systems में हमारे, right? जहाँ से हमारी expert team take over कर देती है. और हमारे OMS systems में there are more than 80 steps which goes in the life cycle of a matter, जिससे कि we ensure timely recovery, quick recovery, and maximum recovery for you, right? So ये वो steps हैं which happens. IBC notice, then NCLT petition, then drafting, getting your approval, sending it to opposite party, then all the hearings of NCLT, and then NCLT is तो वहाँ पर complaint letters to different departments, and then MSME online filing, MSME offline filing, MSME समाधान filing, all these things as you can see, box number 66, 67, 68, 69, 71, 71 में in 10-15 steps हैं like this. So it's a detailed procedural mechanism which has been framed to ensure maximized recovery for you. And we have a dedicated team of CRMs, process coordinators, and executives who takes care of all the systems. And there's a dedicated division of labor concept, just saying there is no overlap of any division of responsibility. Who's going to be doing what work at what time, it's all clearly defined. Plus, we have these timesheets because time is our biggest asset. So every team member, they update their timesheets, what work they're doing at what point of time, so that we have full quality control and delivery control. Plus, we have these. We have made this tracker, especially because we used to get a lot of, a lot of our clients used to tell us that in the past, whenever they've given cases to any companies, they never get any timely update. So we have made this tracker, especially to send you timely update twice a month, where what has happened on your case and what's the next step. That comes to you automatically on WhatsApp and email. Of course, you can call us anytime, 24/7, but you get this regular update automatically. Every day, our team updates this sheet on all the matters. Plus, we have made this dashboard for our employees because more than 500 matters, 80 steps in each matter. So when and what work has to be done in which matter. So they just, whenever they come in the morning, they get this dashboard on their email. They just have to open it and they get what work needs to be done by what time, right? It's all clear here. As you can see, it's updated today. So the system only tells them. And we have also made this compound interest calculation sheet, which is very, very important. Now, as I said, compound interest is calculated 3 times of the bank rate, and bank rate changes every 2 to 3 months. So it's very difficult to calculate the compound interest. But at the same time, it's the most important weapon because that only entails a lot of settlement. They cannot deny this interest because it's given by the parliament itself. So I'll tell you how does it calculate. So we have given 10 years bank rate in this compound interest sheet, and you just have to enter 3 things in this: the amount due, the due date, and today's date, and you'll get the compound interest. So suppose if you had to recover 2 crores from one of your client from 1st of January 2019, okay, and I'll put today's date. You have to calculate compound interest today. Okay, so here you go. That's, I'll mark this for your reference, and as soon as you enter this, see, you got the number of days of delay 1565. The compound interest is 1.56 lakhs. The compound interest was 3.56 lakhs. अब आपको लेने थे 2 करोड़ और आप उसको 3.56 लाख का नोटिस भेजेंगे तो क्या होगा? वो हिल जाएगा. और पार्लियामेंट ने ये इंटरेस्ट दिया हुआ है तो nobody can deny this. Even Supreme Court cannot deny this. Not a penny more, not a penny less. और वो भाग कर आएगा सेटलमेंट करने आपके पास. But the point is you should know it, right? So as I said, using these systems, we have helped more than 3,000 business owners in recovery. And past 12 months itself, we have handled more than 24 recovery cases for 525 crores. And above, our clients are spread across 22 states in India. And we have held more than 27 different industries. And we are processing claims of business dues against parties across 24 states in India and also in foreign countries. So I'll just quickly do this final sharing of one Mr. Sailesh Panchal. He's from Mumbai. How we helped them in recovery of huge amount from one of the major listed pharmaceutical company of India. A very big company. किसी ने शुरू में बोला था कि बड़ी कंपनी से डिफॉल्ट करती है उनसे रिकवरी करना मुश्किल होता है. मैंने कहा था कि उनसे रिकवरी करना सबसे ज्यादा आसान होता है. With this systems and knowledge, you can, and they are the first one to pay because they know the repercussions, right? So let's listen to him, Mr. Sailesh Panchal.
At the outset, I would like to thank the whole VKJ team for making debt recovery system so smooth and seamless. It was well coordinated from VKJ team. The required of documentation was so rightly performed that the recovery was certain at the beginning. I want to give special congratulations to Mr. Jain for his very professional guidance to his team. Normally, debt recovery is very cumbersome and very time-consuming job, but the team VKJ has made it so simple and peaceful. And I would like to recommend other SMEs to contact VKJ team for recovery cases, as you will have assured result in your favor. Thank you.
So that was Mr. Sailesh Panchal. So if you need our assistance, then here is a 2 minutes inquiry form in the chat box. You can just fill it and click on the form, and you can just fill it in take 1 to 2 minutes, and our team will reach out to you. So that's an infrastructure, that's a facility, that's a team which we have from where all the work happens. So now let's come to the Q&A session. So I'll answer all the questions now which we have received. So if you have any questions, then just type it in the Q&A box now, and I'll be very happy to answer it. So I'll start with the questions we have received. Regarding delay in GST payment, Divya ji, मुझे आपका सवाल नहीं समझ में आया, Divya Rawat ji. Then we have Divya Rawat ji, many PSU in government are not paying GST after giving all the necessary GST details such as 3B, R1, etc. Still we have to wait long for GST payment. So Divya ji, yes, that's a common problem. तो आप उनको GST invoice मत दीजिए जब तक वो GST का payment नहीं कर देते. You can follow that practice. Rajan Nathani ji, I am into trading business, having UDYAMITA registration 52 warehousing and support. Can I file recovery? अगर आप trading में राजन जी तो no, but आप थोड़ी सी service या थोड़ा सा processing दिखा सकते हैं तो yes. Nikhil Jain, what if the buyer is also MSMED? कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता. You can still file it. Is Nikhil Jain, is there any limit for amount? No, there is no limit for amount. Then Sai Prasad Panchagni ji, do the registered enterprise have to file return to MSME periodically? What frequency of such compliance? No, it's with the MSME. MC के साथ file करना पड़ता है हर company को. Divya Rao ji, is this applicable to government and private firm? Both. James Anthony ji, sir, we have dues not paid more than 12 years. What can we do? बहुत पुराने हो गए James ji, but we'll have to see the facts of the case. But upfront मैं आपको बता दूं, very difficult. प्रभाकर जी, my company has completed the work, but my customer is not certifying my bills. कोई जरूरत नहीं प्रभाकर जी. डीम्ड एक्सेप्टेंस का प्रोविजन हमने देखा, आप उनको उठाकर ईमेल कर दीजिए और 15 दिन में कोई ऑब्जेक्शन नहीं आया तो वो डीम्ड एक्सेप्टेंस है. 15 दिन फ्रॉम डेट ऑफ डिलीवरी. निखिल जैन जी, व्हाट इज द टाइम ऑफ लिमिटेशन फॉर रिकवरी ऑफ मनी इन एमएसएमई एक्ट? 3 साल का ही होता है, बट यू कैन स्टिल फाइल इट फॉर केसेस older than 3 years. Because Limitation Act doesn't apply to filing and conciliation proceedings. Sarang ji का सवाल है, what if we do not have any work order from client but render our services? Means no documentary evidence of work done, but the work has been carried out. तो सारंग जी एक email कर दीजिए with invoice की यही work किया है, and that will be sufficient proof if we don't object to it. Anand Nimani ji, if the buyer is proprietary firm or a partnership firm whose not making payment, then where do we stand? कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता. Same remedy सारंग जी. Rakshita Mehta ji, we are not MSME pre-COVID, but we became MSME in 2020. So if outstanding is of 20 times, can we use provision of MSME Act? Rakshita जी, अगर आपके पास पहले का कोई भी MSME रजिस्ट्रेशन नहीं आई है पार्ट 1 पार्ट 2, तो आप नहीं कर पाएंगे. MSME रजिस्ट्रेशन के बाद ही कर पाएंगे. प्रभाकर जी, मैं परफॉर्मेंस एंड गारंटीज आर इन्वोक्ड बाय बैंक my customer for other projects for one for any reason, without any reason. तो उसको आपको चैलेंज करना पड़ेगा प्रभाकर जी. Atul Jaggi ji, we have a contract with the PSU. We have filed a case in MSME, but they're opposing that works contract does not get covered under MSME Act and citing a lot of court judgments. For the same, what can be done in this scenario as where MSME out to approach the same in front of MSME Facilitation Center? Atul Jaggi ji, it will depend on fact to fact of the case, but works contract is a service. Supreme Court के judgments भी हैं. आप ये query form भर दीजिए. We'll have to we'll analyze it carefully and then we'll be able to answer this. But works contract is part of the service and it's definitely under the service category. So we would be able to. So you have a good case. Ashish Agarwal ji, can the MSMED Act be enforced on sole proprietors? Yes. Or is it enforceable only to private and public limited companies? No, सब sole proprietors में भी हो सकता है. Are there any time frames within which the action on delayed payment is to be initiated? Preferably within 3 years. If the MSME is not manufactured but only traded with a defaulter, what is the possibility of recovery? सिर्फ trading है तो फिर कम है recovery की chance आपके. Rakshita Mehta ji, in tender we were quoting for rates. The term said exemption from honest money deposit payment to MSME listed parties. We asked the rights department officer many times sent a number to confirm, but they said we don't know if it's available to you or not. We have quoted tender without paying it on end. How can we find out what the rule for this? We have taken a risk as there was no one to tell us if it is exempt or not. तो ये तो एक benefit हो गया. आप उनको RTA लिख दीजिए and they'll give you the answer, right? And you can write to the ministry also, Rakshita ji. But that's something we do not work upon. Padmaja Joshi ji, we have a delayed payment case from PSU since 2015. During award of contract itself, our MSME status was known. The contract had arbitration clause. We enforced it, tribunal gave decision of favor. The PSU went to court against the arbitration decision. Still no decision from court even as of today. So PSU purposely does not appear multiple times. Can we still have any recourse in delayed payment clause? Padmaja ji, बिल्कुल common problem है आपको और बहुत ही आपने सही सवाल पूछा. जैसा मैंने कहा, what I was telling, this is a classic example. Civil courts और arbitration में 5 साल 10 साल लग जाते हैं, कोई डिसीजन नहीं आता. जबकि आप जब MSME समाधान में जाते हैं तो इमीडिएट डिसीजन आता है और उसकी अपील भी बहुत मुश्किल होती है बिकॉज़ 70% डिपॉजिट करना पड़ता है. सो सिंस आपको ऑलरेडी अवार्ड आ चुका है, कोर्ट में आ चुके हैं, तो देयर इज नॉट मच दैट कैन बी डन नाउ. आपको उसी में फोकस करना पड़ेगा, बट फ्यूचर के लिए डेफिनेटली यू शुड कंसीडर दिस MSME समाधान. Ashok Soni ji, companies open SPV and close it without paying. Solar. Okay, what's the question in that? Pradeep Talnikar ji, MSME defense sector startups, that MSME Act is not applicable for them. ऐसा नहीं है. It is the experience of my 2 such clients. How can you give feedback to PM on defense ministry? उनको लिख दीजिए सीधा. Rakshita Mehta ji, what's offline filing? As you said, you have to do both online and offline. Can you correct if I'm wrong? Yes, Rakshita ji, आप पहले online करेंगे, फिर आपकी जो local MSME council है, body उसके पास जाकर physical filing भी करेंगे उस चीज की. साई प्रसाद जी, व्हाट इज द डॉक्यूमेंटेशन टू फाइल अ सूट विद MSME? जो मैंने बताया, वर्क ऑर्डर अगर है तो ठीक है, एफिडेविट, बाय डिटेल्स, मोबाइल नंबर, आधार नंबर एंड द कॉपीज ऑफ योर इनवॉइसेस. प्रदीप जी का सवाल है, प्रदीप तालनिकर जी का, facilitation councils do not have adequate knowledge of arbitration of law, legal procedures. In my own case, I have experience. Very correct, Pradeep ji. They use their discretion and prejudices. Even so many judgments to defendants whereby 90 days limit gets crossed, they don't bother for it. Others are paying without adequate study. Number of applicants. Yes, बिल्कुल सही बोल रहे हैं प्रदीप जी. ऐसा ही होता है. That's why when you go to them with strong लीगल बैकग्राउंड और उनको आप सारे वो चीजें देते हैं, तो फिर वो जो उनकी डिसएडवांटेज है वो अपनी एडवांटेज बन जाती है, क्योंकि फिर वो दे आर बाउंड टू सी इट। ये सब लकीर, आई एम सॉरी टू यूज दिस वर्ड, बट ये सारे लकीर के फकीर होते हैं फैसिलिटेशन काउंसिल के मेंबर्स, और उनको कुछ नहीं बोलो तो वो अपना दिमाग लगाते हैं, बट जहां आप उनको लॉ और उसका सपोर्ट बता दो तो वो बहुत डरते हैं और फिर उसी को अप्लाई करते हैं। James Anthony ji, if semi-government didn't pay released outstanding payments since 4 years, what can we do? Same remedy, James Anthony ji. Pradeep Talnikar ji, financial year 23 budget provides a great rule. The company will be disallowed to expense in case. Yes, very correct. बड़ा अच्छा rule है Pradeep ji. Ashish ji, what if the goods sold are against e-bills but the default is not going to return except the resident dispute in the grace period? Is the MSME internal action? Yes, Ashish ji, बिल्कुल कर सकते हैं आप, अगर आपके पास e-bill है तो. Sai Prasad ji, is there a threshold limit to file a suit with MSME? No, any amount can be recovered. See, Girish Kumar Devalia ji, we want soft copy of Girish ji, sorry, we don't provide the soft copy of this presentation. Nikhil ji, what if the invoice is reversed to say GST? कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता, आपने invoice तो किया हुआ है, तो it doesn't matter, कोई अगर dispute नहीं तो. Sai Prasad ji, is this provision available only for debts beyond 3 years? नहीं, आप मतलब 3 साल और 3 साल की बात नहीं कर सकते हैं आप. Padmaja ji, what about delayed payment from government department, especially in case of civil contract? Does this process cover as well? Yes, Padmaja ji, very well. It covers government departments as well. S. Swaminathan ji, sir, if a customer don't have money, in those cases, what will be the action? देखिए, पैसा ही नहीं है उसके पास, तो फिर आप कुछ नहीं कर पाएंगे. एक्शन तो यही रहेगा, but there's not much you can do. Venkatesh Kollu ji, ex company incorporated 2019. However, it has taken MSME in April 22. Can the ex company file a case before the registration? No. Divya ji, but sir, will they not pay without giving invoice? Performa invoice दे दीजिए Divya ji. Ravinder Parikh, what is the guarantee that big customers continue doing the business once they recover the money with interest? कोई guarantee नहीं है Ravinder ji. So it's up to you. It's a commercial decision which you take. ऐसे कस्टमर से बिजनेस करना है कि नहीं करना है, कि जो आपको टाइमली पेमेंट नहीं करते और जब रिकवरी पे जाओ तो आगे बिजनेस नहीं करते, तो उससे अच्छा तो आप बिजनेस ही मत करिए उनसे. ऐसे भी आप पेमेंट उनसे नहीं ले रहे हैं, वो आपके पैसे धंधा कर रहे हैं. इट्स कंप्लीटली योर कॉल. Vinod Harsora ji, maximum businesses with one company, they're regular payment dealer. If we take recovery step, they'll discontinue business. But the other way, we can keep relation intact for future business. तो अगर ऐसा है तो आप उनको थोड़ा हाई रेट चार्ज करिए, so that आप जो डिले हो रहा है वो कवर हो जाए, उसका इंटरेस्ट. दिव्या जी, as all government sector asking for GST invoice for payment. Yes, but you can always tell them कि आप मुझे टाइमली पेमेंट करेंगे तो मैं GST invoice दे दूंगी, और अगर नहीं तो it's a risk which you take for that many days. थोड़ा सा हाई रेट्स पे करिए. That's a commercial decision which you have to take. दिव्या जी. What about delay in EMD fee? If you're not getting EMD after tender disqualified, वो भी आप रिकवर कर सकते हैं वैसे भी. गिरधारी जी, can we file for EMD and security deposit also? Yes. Divya Rawat ji, means recovery of, I understood Divya ji. I have answered that. Nikhil ji, what if I'm not aware of if the entity is existing or not, but I know where is the MD. Entity होनी चाहिए. That's more important. वो ऑनलाइन दिख जाएगी आपको अगर प्राइवेट लिमिट है तो. Sai Prasad ji, we are into trading. Is this benefit support available to us? No, it's only for service and manufacturing. आप जो भी ट्रेडिंग में है उसमें आप प्रोसेसिंग में आ जाइए, तो फिर इसमें आ जाइए. In the service sector, works contract में. Girdhari ji, is it applicable for any activity of business if MSME investor but doing trading also? Trading के लिए नहीं होगा, बाकी के लिए होगा. Pradeep Talnikar ji, I file online complaint but do not file offline complaint. File, would it say file need to file offline? Offline भी भरना पड़ेगा आपको Pradeep ji. Parth Pangre ji, I want to know what rights he has if MSME client is defaulting or not paying. जो मैंने आपको बताया शुरू में इस provision में. Most of the clients to circumvent ask us to raise invoice only after 45 days and then they pay after 30 days. How do we handle the situation? आप तो सीधा सीधा काम करके invoice भेज दीजिए उनको and they'll be bound to pay it, क्योंकि invoice काम हो गया तो invoice तो raise करना ही पड़ेगा आपको. रविंदर पारिक जी, I have paid advance to us, और उनको बताइए कि ये provision है हमारा. और रविंदर पारिक जी, I have paid advance to a supplier but he has not supplied the goods. Can I claim it MSME समाधान? Yes, you can. उनको उसको डेबिट नोट रेज करके रेज कर दीजिए एमएसएमई समाधान में. नीलेश जी, वी डिड एमएसएमई केस एंड कस्टमर से डेफिसिट ऑफ सर्विस आफ्टर 15 डेज आगे रिजेक्टेड, व्हाट वी डू. देखिए, आपको बताना था उनको, एमएसएमई काउंसिल वालों को, उनको भी पता नहीं होता कि डीम्ड एक्सेप्टेंस का प्रोविजन है 15 डेज में, अगर नहीं बोला तो डीम्ड एक्सेप्ट. दैट्स योर रेमेडी. नीलेश जी, कैन वी फाइल एमएसएमई केस इफ यू फाइल 138 और सिविल? 138 किया है तो कर सकते हैं, सिविल किया है नहीं, आप एमएसएमई नहीं कर सकते. Nilesh ji, 15 days will be from date of service or date of its invoice? Date of service, delivery of service. Ganesh Surve ji, if GST is not paid by SEs, then file MSME Sanat GST recovery. Yes, it's part of your invoice. Jitin Kumar Jain, selling installation of computers machinery will be covered. Yes, contract हो जाएगा. Selling installation दोनों है तो हो जाएगा. Nilesh ji, should we have any MSME clause in our agreement? Yes, it will help you definitely. Pradeep ji, can we file claim on the basis of unpaid performa invoice or it has to be tax invoice? Performa invoice पे भी कर सकते हैं. Fantastic. So with that, I think I've answered all the questions. So thank you
Yes,
so much. Any
सर
further
थैंक यू
questions?
सो मच फॉर ज्वाइनिंग अस। आपने अपना कीमती समय आज उद्यमिता हेल्पलाइन के लिए निकाला। थैंक यू सो मच सर, और काफी आसान शब्दों में आपने वेबिनार को समझाया। हमारे पार्टिसिपेंट्स के सारे क्वेश्चंस भी हो चुके हैं, तो सर टाइम भी हो चुका है। थैंक यू सो मच अगेन फॉर ज्वाइनिंग अस। थैंक यू सो मच सर।